It is the day before rifle elk season opens in Nebraska. And it's pretty awesome because I have a tag this year that I drew and I've been putting in for the last few years, and the really special thing about it is it's on the ranch. My family's ranch in Nebraska that I grew up on and that I outfit on still. It's gonna be a different kind of elk hunt. We've got a lot of agriculture, like standing cornfields, and most of the elk are in the corn, but we've got river bottom, creek bottom, broken pine trees, like just broken type country draining into a creek. It's super cool. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the temperatures to drop and hopefully kind of kick the rut in. So this evening I'm just sitting up on a good glassing knob. As it cools off this evening, things will get active and I'll get a pretty good idea of then where I want to set up. Last year I had a bull on camera that we were trying to get with a client. On one side, his fourth point was like a club, so we started calling him the club bull. Didn't get him killed last year. He actually didn't even show up until this day a year ago, and then he actually dropped his sheds on the ranch and I found him, and so I have his set of sheds from last year at my house. And this year I was really looking forward to finding that bull, and basically last night he showed up on a trail camera at midnight and he was bugling, and it's just like such a cool bull. He literally looks identical to the way he did last year, so I'm super excited that I even have an opportunity to try to find that bull again. That's an elk, a mule deer doe, and a whitetail buck in the same frame. So most of the bulls, they do just tend to stick in the cornfields, which it's kind of crazy. Like, it's so thick and loud, you'd think they wouldn't really like it, but they really don't seem to mind it at all, and that's where most of the rutting seems to occur. So in the morning, I mean, I think the only way to do it is to get close and be close. I mean, even close, like some of the distances across these corners is 500 yards, over 500 yards on some of them, so within rifle range, but hopefully we'll be able to call them in closer. I'm taking a decoy because it's so open. Those corners are so open, and just outside of the corn really in general, it's so open. Like calling solo and trying to film solo and hunt and all these things. Having something to kind of distract him with and hopefully be able to kind of lead him in, so they'll give me like a good broadside shot too, instead of a frontal, which can be a problem when you're calling. Opening day in Nebraska for elk. We've got a few bulls around us. Some are bugling. Most of them are in the corn or jumping from cornfield to cornfield. We're getting small glimpses of them, but I think we're going to move up and try to get a look at, there's a bunch of bugling happening in front of us. We might just go up and try to get in the middle of it. I followed the bull down onto the creek bottom, and I saw him walking along the bottom, heard him bugle once, and I left my bugle tube back at my pack, So I just threw a diaphragm call in my mouth and just did the best bugle I could without a tube. And he like ripped one back and literally flipped a 180 and like jumped the creek, and here he comes back. Nice like young bull. I know there's like more mature bulls around, so I'm holding out. So some of these fields are potato fields, and they're actually in the midst of digging them right now. These little guys are leftovers in the field, and we grabbed a few and are gonna take them home and mix them up for breakfast. As far as the elk herd goes on the ranch, we couldn't count on seeing elk up until really like 5 years ago. You'd have some that would pass through, but you couldn't reliably think that you'd be able to find elk in like the hunting months of September and October. And every once in a while, like in the summer, you'd get a bachelor herd of bulls that would come through, and you get to film them. But for the most part, like we didn't have elk, and it's a tough tag to pull, and I just never thought that I was going to be able to. It's once in a lifetime for residents to pull a tag. And reflecting back on being a kid out here and hunting literally all the time, as much as I could, hunting deer and turkeys and coyotes, like I was reading about elk hunting in the mountains in magazines. So now to like be on a place I grew up and have so much time and energy spent and have so much of like a connection with it, it's like, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm set up in a shelter belt, or like a, you know, planted tree line of cedars. The elk, like, they like to come in here and like rub the cedars. There's beds kind of all over in this. So it's super gusty, it's hard to hear, but I'm tucked in between like two cornfields in this tree line. And I'm just gonna do some cold calling, do a little bit of cow calling, bugle a couple times kind of lazily, and see if we can't get anything that's like close to pop off and maybe come in, and then hopefully the wind will go down. It's an hour before dark, and we see this vehicle come down around one of these potato fields, and they stop and get buckets, and they're picking buckets of potatoes. So we're gonna move. Just got in a decent spot to set up and do a little calling in this corner. I had a young 6-point come out of the corn here adjacent to me, and then just called in another young like 6x8 with a cool, or 6x7, whatever, with a cool flyer. Called him in about 80 yards, and he was looking around for us, but super cool. It's the morning of day 2 of season. The wind completely switched, and I had to come in from another direction. Got here 45 minutes early, listened for a little while, didn't hear any bugling. Came up to a high point where it overlooks kind of where 3 pivots come together. There's quite a bit of grass and stuff. And there's 3 bulls out in front of me. And they started fighting and messing around a little bit, and a 4th bull has joined them. They're so nice. honestly, I don't want it to end. It's super fun. Well, it's only like 8 o'clock, but this morning was one of those kind of mornings you thought that things would really be fired up, but I haven't heard a single bugle all morning. They're definitely traveling, and who knows where the club bowl is. Alright, it's 5 o'clock, got a couple hours till dark, and I decided to kind of pull back a little bit, set myself up on a high point, and I'm still what I would consider I'm within striking distance of a couple of different spots, but pretty far for shooting. I think over here in front of me, where I think a bull might be if I were to get a shot, is 700 yards. So yeah, I have a super good 360. I can see back behind me to the creek and the trees. These bulls being like kind of mellow as they are, if there's not a hot cow, I'm thinking like maybe a bull could go to the creek, especially it's been warm this afternoon, and could bed up in the trees instead of in the humid corn. So we'll see. So just sitting up here waiting for time to pass till I hear a bugle, thinking about, I don't know, times I've had up here, and especially in this specific spot. I have sat in this specific spot glassing, I mean, it has to be 1,000 times by now. 20 years worth, really, at least. And it's just like kind of cool. I called my first bull in off of this glassing knob, actually. I hunted up here with Steve a lot for the show a couple years ago. And yeah, just a pretty special place. Getting down to the last 15 minutes or so of light, and I had one bull come out, just a small, real young 6. I don't know, we'll just have to see how the morning goes. The wind is supposed to be the same direction, so probably gonna do about the same thing that I did this morning, and just get in real early, real quiet, and try to find them feeding. I've got a bull in front of me. He was closer to me in the dark, and then he just like kind of moved away, so I've sort of been following him. I haven't seen him, I don't know what he is, but I'm just trying to get him to come over the hill so I can see what he is. Club bull's back. So all morning I got here, I heard bugling, and I was trying to figure out which direction to go. I decided to come up this way because a bull was bugling. I bugled back and forth with him a little bit, and I kept expecting him to just come, and he just wouldn't. So I was like, well, maybe he has cows. So I came up to this glassy knob that I was on last night. I just catch him going across the opening, and I'm like trying to get my stuff and get set up and figure out which bull it is, and I'm like, bull, that's a big bull. And he got in the corn, and I could see his tops, and I set my spotting scope up real quick and looked, and like, it's definitely the club bull. We know he's here. He's in that field right now. I don't know if he has cows or not. I never saw cows. But what a deal. What a deal. He's coming. Oh my God. I got him. I just killed the club bull. What? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I found his sheds just literally right over here, 300 yards. I found his first shed, and then I found the other one a little ways further, but I kept his sheds, and as soon as I drew the tag, I was like, I want to try to find that bull again. He's so cool. He's so heavy. This bull, my hand around his fifth, or his fours going to his fifth, my hand literally covers the mass, so, all the way around my hand. He's got these really weird points. He's clubbed off on his right fourth. His right fifth has like this weird clubby looking thing. His fifth on this side's the same way. It's just heavy, old bull. I literally can't believe I'm here right now. It got to about 85 degrees the day that I killed this bull, and with that heat, you need to get the hide stripped off and just get into processing in a cooler as fast as possible. And we don't have a cooler that big, so he's being processed right now. We got the head all cleaned up, and I got him back, and it's just it's so surreal. Like, didn't see him all summer, and basically I thought if there was a chance of seeing him, it was probably to the day or so from when we had seen him last year, and that's exactly how it happened. Just what a bull, bull of a lifetime. Really, we ended up, we roughed him out a couple of different times and got 375, so a mid 370s bull, very, very heavy. You literally can't get your hands around him until the end of his beam, and tons of character, and it's really something special. One of the most unique things about this bull is these kind of goofy growths, or the way his antler grew in the last part of Velvet. That's just the way it grew. And so with all goofy things that I don't know what it is, I texted Steven Ranella and asked him what he thought. And he said it was insane, and he asked Jim Heffelfinger, and Jim's best guess was It could actually be EHD. It's epizootic hemorrhagic disease, and it actually can cause hemorrhaging in the antler in the later part of, like, as they're finishing out their velvet. It can cause hemorrhaging, which it bulges. It kind of looks like it could have bubbled at one point, so I could almost buy it. It did happen 2 years, at least 2 years in a row that I know of. So, and he wasn't significantly like injured in any way that was obvious. So it's just really, really interesting, super unique bull, tons and tons of mass. We just got him back and we're gonna make burgers. We're gonna make like a jalapeno popper burger, and I'm a big sweets person, so we're gonna put raspberry jelly on it. It's probably gonna be awesome, huh? Something about this hunt that just, you know, let alone being able to be where I grew up and hunting how I used to when I was a kid, but then having it come together on a bull that I have history with, and then finding his sheds and not seeing him at all again until 2 days before season at midnight, and then not seeing him at all until the morning of the 23rd when I killed him, is just, literally couldn't have scripted it any better, and it's gonna be one that can't be beat.